What's going on, everyone? It's Mr. West. I hope you're all well. So welcome back to another in the ultimate video test series, and this time it's for an extremely cheap budget smartphone. It's the Moto E5 Play. The last time I checked it was around about £80 in the UK, and also appears to be quite popular because it was out of stock on at least half a dozen of the UK retailers' websites. Now, this would be ideal for the younger members of your family. You know, it's entirely made of plastic, so it can take some knocks and scrapes. But I wanted to see exactly what £80 gets you in terms of video. In other words, is it serviceable? And I wanted to find out if it's actually serviceable in low light as well. Now, I will be making a daylight video for this, but for now, I just wanted to check out the low light performance. So we're currently recording video at the lowest mode available, which is 4:3, 30 frames per second, VGA resolution, 640 by 480. I don't expect it to be very good at all. And looking at the lens flare from the street lamp there, I mean, that actually isn't that bad. It's blown out the street lamp completely because of the smaller sensor. The specs wise, the front facing camera is a fixed focus 5 megapixel camera. It doesn't have anything like electronic image stabilisation. It has no HDR, no face recognition technology at all. It's just essentially a very basic no-frills camera. Now, without any electronic image stabilisation, you can see behind me there is a little bit of wobble, but you can't expect everything for £80. Okay, so this is now 720p at 30 frames per second, and it's recorded in 16:9 aspect. Now, just save some time, all of the video modes available are 30 frames per second. I don't think the processor in this phone could handle 60 FPS, and I have tried some third-party camera applications, and 60 FPS just isn't available. Now, it's very difficult to tell what the video recording is actually like because of the really bad display that's been fitted to this phone. Again, you can't expect everything, you can't expect miracles at this price point. But you be the judge and you let me know what you think. Now, this phone would be ideal for the younger members of your family. It's plastic, it can take plenty of knocks and scrapes, and it's perfect for making occasional videos with. You know, with their friends, or if they want to take videos of the dog. It may also benefit the elder people in your family as well, who want something simple to use, which isn't overloaded with loads of, to them, what would be seen as unnecessary features. So just looking around, I mean, obviously the video is quite grainy, but it is still managing to pick up the crosshatch pattern on this cottage behind me here. And if I move around, just looking at the street lamp, okay, so the glare is as you would expect, but it isn't really that bad. It's actually quite artistic looking effect. But you can still pick up the bus stop. But I'm not really picking out a great deal of colour in the road. I'm just about to make out the yellow of the lines there on the road for the bus stop. So that is 720p at 30 frames per second. Now, incredibly, you also get 1080p from the front-facing camera at 30 FPS. Now, whether this makes any negligible difference, I really don't know. Again, it's impossible to tell with this display. But, I mean, motion-wise, it's pretty smooth. I was expecting a great deal worse. I really didn't know what to expect. Now, we'll check out how it handles motion as I run. Now, there's no stabilisation, but it's worth giving it a try just to see how it looks anyway. So here we go. And as we can see there, bouncing all over the place. But hey ho, you can't have everything. And for £80, you know, it's not slowing down, it's not choppy. There doesn't appear to be any drop frames in the video from where I'm standing. So far, so good. So now switching to the main rear camera. Now, this is an 8 megapixel camera. Now in video mode it doesn't have HDR, whereas with still images it does have HDR processing. Now it does have autofocus on the main rear camera. Now we got some cool lens flare from the lamp there. I'm not sure that's exactly how it's meant to look, but it still looks pretty cool. And once again, you don't get any electronic image stabilisation in this mode. If there's a way with anything like that, it's just very bare bones, good value smartphone territory. Now I did record some footage in the car, the phone attached to the windscreen mount. And just watching it as I was driving along, obviously I was paying attention, but a cursory glance now and again, it really didn't look too bad at all. And when played back and just taking a quick look, I was actually quite impressed with the actual video capture. There were no drop frames or anything like that. Now this mode here is 480p, so it's VGA at 30 frames per second. And you can see it records in 4:3. So if you're watching on a modern smartphone with its super wide display, then I do apologise, you're watching in a tiny box in the middle of the display. But if you're looking at VGA resolution, it was catching the street lamp glares there. Again, whether it's meant to look like that or not, it does actually look quite cool at some points. The kind of artistic glow you get from the lights. And looking out into the distance, I mean, it is losing contrast there in the distance. But a fair job even at this VGA resolution. Alright, so taking things up a notch now to 720p at 30 frames per second. Now, as I said when I was doing the front-facing camera segment, this kind of phone is ideal for younger people, and these kind of lower resolution modes help to save some space. This is a 16GB phone. By the time the OS has been installed, you only get around 10GB available to play with, and that's for apps as well as images and video, etc. Now you can install an SD card into this phone, so that will allow you to store images on that. But for something that's occasional, I would imagine this would suffice for a lot of situations. Now you can't actually do touch to focus or exposure when you're actually recording video. You have to do that before you start recording the video. But you can toggle the flash on and off. So if we just point to the ground there, that's the torch on and that is the torch off. So at least you've got the torch available if you want to light up and concentrate light on a particular area. Okay, so now we're 1080p at 30 frames per second. So one thing I wanted to try in this mode while we've got some light around us is the autofocus. Now, as you can see, it's really struggling in low light. Now what you can do, you can push the display and that helps you get a lock on your subject. Again, I really wasn't expecting miracles from this phone, and in low light it is really going to struggle to find its surroundings. But I mean, it's doing a good job. You can see the lenses there of the Mate 20 Pro. You can just make them out individually with the street lighting behind me. So, not bad. Now, because of the display, it's very difficult for me to see if it's actually picking up any accurate colour from the Mate 20 Pro's back. Now, I have got the case on the phone. This isn't mine, so I want to make sure it's protected. But if we use the focus, so it seems to be it's spot focus. So it adjusts itself when you push the display. So it doesn't seem to be doing it on the fly. If I just push the screen there and it focuses on that. So that's how things are going to be, I see. So I must say, as I said previously, I was pretty impressed with how it deals with faster motion when in my car recording video. But let's see how it does with a bit of faster movement. You can see there's no stabilisation whatsoever, so every movement I make is transferred straight onto the phone. So let's just have a look anyway. We can see here we're in kind of old 70s police show territory where it's extremely wobbly. Now I think that's pretty much the best we're going to get from this phone in low light. But as I said, it's absolutely perfect for somebody younger who's just starting out with their first smartphone and wants to record video. It doesn't do a bad job at all. I'll be completely honest. I was actually very surprised with how capable the phone is with video, and the fact that it can do 1080p at 30 FPS. Now, whether it's upscaled or if it's real 1080p, I don't know. So I think this is the best that we're going to get with this phone. I mean, you can't really grumble. £80. Yeah, there's no image stabilisation, but a cheap gimbal can fix that. You can pick up gimbals for less than £100 now. And I think it's very serviceable for the price. Just slap an SD card in this thing and you can record video to your heart's content. So that's the end of the Moto E5 Play low light video test. I'm actually quite surprised at what this phone can achieve video wise for its very low price point. Now, we'll be recording a daylight video test very shortly, so do make sure you're subscribed if you enjoyed what you see, so you don't miss that coming very, very soon. And if you've got any questions about this phone, then please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. But for now, this has been my low light video test for the Moto E5 Play. My name's Mr. West, and I will catch you guys later.